Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 237. Haven't missed one day. Thank you guys for being here with me. You guys are amazing. I thought I would start us off with a quote from Abraham Hicks that I got in my email, and I just wanted to share it. I thought it was a really good one, so I thought we'd start this off. I have so many goodies I want to throw in this video today, so I'm going to go rapid fire. So if you knew everything was really all right and that it always has a happy ending, then you would not feel trepidatious about your future. Everything is really so very all right. If you could believe and trust that, then immediately everything would automatically and instantly become all right. I love that. So what if we could automatically just start telling ourselves everything is all right? Everything's all right. What if we stayed in that state? Then things could instantly become all right. Whoa, what a concept. What if we could just stay there? And that's what we have to practice. It's all about what state we're in. That's how we're going to perceive everything around us. And we're so trained by everything around us and by our own thoughts and beliefs that we have to think the same way. But we don't. So remind yourself that you can think differently. You just tell yourself how you want to think, and you got to stay there. And I think yesterday I did the video about why focusing on negativity keeps it alive. And so we had an awesome subscriber message about, or comment about how to deal with negative people in life, and basically, how to stay in the state of, maybe not noticing them, or, without like having to cut people off or isolate oneself. And I also want to say, like, the word isolation, I meant to actually bring this up. Sometimes I have to process a day or two after I do a video. I'm like, oh, I should have said this and I should have said that. So I thought about, instead of isolation, we use the word solitude, because being in solitude is great. When I was divorced in 2014, man, over the years, like, I've had so much solitude. And at first I thought, oh, I'm isolating myself. But it really wasn't that. It was, I think I needed that time to come back to myself, because I was really wrapped up in the world. I mean, we just get wrapped up in other people's stuff. And of course, being a therapist, that's my job, to be wrapped up kind of in people's stuff. So I had to learn to go into solitude and know that that was okay, and that I didn't have to be around people all the time. And then COVID, of course, changed everything. So that did kind of isolate us, or we could use it as the word solitude. So it's either isolation or solitude, whichever word feels best to use. That's the word we want to use, and that's how we want to define it. So again, watch our definitions, right? We've got to watch how we see things, perceive them, how we label them, all these things. So I did get a couple of follow-up comments, and I kind of wanted to dig into those real quick. Let's see. I like the word that my subscriber used, refocusing on the positive. So that's something that is great to do. It's like telling yourself, I'm going to refocus. I'm focused over here, but now I'm going to refocus. Like, these words are just so powerful to remind ourselves that, whenever we're feeling bad, or we're noticing something that it isn't going our way, or whatever the case is, like, we're focused on that. So that's where our energy is going to flow there if we're focused on it. So we've got to refocus, right? We've got to gently just guide ourselves over there. There's no need to berate yourself, even though you probably hear these things a million times and you know these things. We think we know them, but like, we really don't know them until we know them, if that makes sense. Like, we think we know them, but until we embody that and we actually feel it and we practice it and we stay there, then we don't really fully know it. We know it intellectually, but our body doesn't know it. So, but then of course we're human, so we're going to have times when we have triggers. We are. That's just, we're going to have things that come in and might remind us of something else. I don't even like the word trigger. I kind of call them like like life switches. I think I mentioned that before, like a trauma is like a life switch. Like it just comes in and it flips a switch and it changes the way we view things. And so we've got to flip the switch whichever way we want it to go. And we get to decide how we want to define things and look at things and how we're going to focus on them and what we're even going to focus on in the first place. So I love that, like the refocusing on the positive. And let's see. And she said, I've tried doing that before, but apparently not for long enough to make a difference. So remember too, we've got one eternal now moment. We not only have our now, like your now right now, and the now you're listening to me right now, but we have like, think big picture outside of yourself, like the eternal now of eternity, like one now. So everything is happening right now. When I heard people talking about that over and over again and read about this and that everything is happening right now, I was like, wow, that's so cool and mind-blowing. It's like so out of our heads, like we can't even process it. So I encourage everyone to really think bigger, like the big eternal now, like, golly, everything's happening right now. Like we get to select and live anything we want. And it starts with the belief, and the belief causes our state. And so we've got to figure out, okay, what state am I in? What state am I in? Because whatever state I'm in, that's how I'm going to perceive my world. So it's really important to know where you're at and practice it. Keep practicing, because why would we want to go into a lower frequency state anyway? And we do it sometimes. We do. I mean, Earth school is hard. It's definitely not the easiest place to live. It can be challenging. And I think we wanted that. We wanted a challenge. If we didn't have challenges, we'd be bored. I mean, honestly, like we got to have a little bit of drama to like spice things up, if you will. Some people think that they don't need that, but like really for real, like it would be a little bit boring if we didn't have a few challenges going on to grow, because we're here to expand and be more of ourselves. That's why we're here, to just be ourselves. And so we're learning who we are throughout life, and the challenges really show you really who you are. And so let's see. And then she said, I learned some things about myself from these experiences already, but maybe there's more to it or not. So yeah, we're learning constantly about ourselves. That's the point. We don't have to worry about anything else other than, what am I learning? What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Go back to the basics. Like, how do I feel? What do I believe about these things? It's all you. The world's reflecting you right back to you. So all of these people that come in, they're just reflecting pieces of you. And somebody else commented too. One of my other awesome subscribers, she said, sometimes I'm afraid to say positive things because it seems like it annoys people. And sometimes they come back with negativity and it makes me feel bad for trying to be positive. I know that's my own problem, so I will work on that. That goes back to like, we're noticing that it annoys people. First of all, we're assuming that it annoys people. So we got to watch that assumption. Like that's the root. Actually, the root is what, you're believing about yourself. And then what you believe about yourself is what you're going to assume about other people. So just keep that in mind. Like, take the people out of it. They're blobs of energy just teaching you something about yourself. So don't worry about how they're reacting or anything like that. People will gravitate out of your life, or they will be inspired to rise up with you or rise alongside you. We just don't know. I don't have all the answers, of course, but I have seen this in my own life so many times, and it makes so much sense, and it just makes me feel better. So I just go with it. And I just, like you said, they come back with negativity and it makes me feel bad for trying to be positive. So there's that issue right there, which you caught. You said, I know that's my own problem. So awareness is key to all of this too. If you are self-aware, it's priceless. Like, you have to know who you are, how you're feeling, how you're thinking. You have to know those things, because if you know how you think and why you think the way you think, and why you believe what you believe and where it came from, and you kind of know these things, then you're on your way to creating your life exactly how you want it, because you're doing it more with intention, because you know yourself more. If you're just haphazardly, going through life, then it's like you just don't know yourself. And then, we've never been more mentally and physically ill in this country, in this world, I'm assuming, than we are today. There's a crisis going on, like huge crisis, like mental and physical health crisis. And we've never had more medicines, more resources, more therapists, more this and that. Like, it's crazy. And so I'm taking it back to basics, where we remember who we are. And if we don't remember who we are, then we start remembering. So I wanted to read this out of There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem by Wayne Dyer. I love Wayne Dyer. He passed away 10 years ago or something. Love him so much. And this book is like 25 years old, I think. It's great. I just started reading this one recently. I found it at an old bookstore in town. And man, I love this. But he said that... let's see, it may appear obvious that one must first recognize something before applying it, but this is actually the most troublesome step in moving towards spiritual illumination. Recognizing the availability of an invisible force that can be put to use in solving a problem requires overcoming a great deal of our early training and conditioning. Have you ever thought about the limitations we experience when we identify ourselves as only a physical body and material existence? So then he says, in this first step, when you are faced with a problem, I suggest you create a personal affirmation such as, I may not know exactly how to access the spiritual solution here, but I fully recognize that a spiritual solution exists. By recognition of its existence, we invite the power to be known by us. So we are not a physical body. We're not only a physical body, we are spirit. And so when we acknowledge that, like remember that, then this world will start to feel like more of a game, more of a simulation, more of a matrix, all of those things where we're just having fun. This is a video game. This is a play, a movie, whatever you want to call it. And so say, I may not know exactly how to access the spiritual solution here, but I fully recognize that a spiritual solution exists. So we just have to recognize that to actually start to begin to know our power. Sometimes we have to start at the very bottom, like just saying, I love the affirmation. My mind is a center of divine operation. I love that. Just these grounding statements, like I may not know what the spiritual solution is just yet, but I would like to invite that power to show up within me to see what happens. And so I think it's just really important to recognize that we are not just this body. We are not just like these things we see around us, like these problems that we make bigger than they really are. We're way more than that. Like look around you and say, golly, this is just me learning more of me. That's all that this is. And so these people around me are just mirroring my assumptions, the way I feel, the way I think. Watch your assumptions. The law of assumption, as we talked about that a million times. It's the law of whatever works for you. So keep that in mind, that everything is just teaching you about you. And we really do make a big deal of things. We have all these labels. Of course, me being a therapist, like it's so hard for me because I have to have a clinical side of me, and then I have the spiritual side of me. And I do not like labels. Labels are put there for, hey, you have these symptoms. Here's this diagnosis, because this book says that these symptoms equal this diagnosis. And then if you have a diagnosis, insurance will pay for your claim that you put through. You can, like, if you have a diagnosis, then this doctor will be able to legally give you this medication, legally be able to bill for the service that they provided, all these things. So, which I get that. It's a business. It is a business. But I like to keep things very soul level. And that's why I when somebody comes to me and they're like, oh, I'm bipolar, I'm like, okay. And I bring up like Jim Carrey, he's bipolar as well, you know, and he's talked a lot about his mental health. And he would always talk about, you know, depression is, you need deep rest when you're depressed. And I love that. I think we all need deep rest. I really do. We need deep rest away from our own thoughts a lot of the time. We need to slow our brains down. And remember that you don't need to get away from anything. You just need to move towards something else. It's not like I gotta get rid of this and throw this away and do all this. And it's like, let's move toward something else, not away from something. And as Esther Hicks would say, you know, Abraham would say, make peace with where you are before you leave something, because you take yourself with you wherever you go. So remember, you're taking yourself with you wherever you go. And Abraham would say, make sure wherever you go, your inner being is right there with you. And I love that, because it's almost like make sure that you are connected with your inner being instead of disconnected from your inner being, because things are going to look a lot different when you're looking from your perspective versus your inner being. Your inner being can be your higher self, it can be your soul, whatever, however we want to define it. It's just yet another symbol, we could call it. But we want to make sure that we're remembering that we're just having this experience for fun and for expansion, for growth, for fun, like for joy. And I think that the triggers that we experience are just only there to teach us. That's it. And we use the feelings as data, and we let them guide us, not guide us into the abyss, but like guide us into more positivity and more learning who we are through the challenges. And so I do believe too that we create problems, issues, challenges, whatever, to create skill sets to get through those challenges. So we literally are doing this, and I think it's super cool. It's just, yeah, we have some challenges in life. Life has not always been easy for me either. And I still have lots of things going on that could bring me down. And it just, you know, I always tell myself, I'm like, I'm doing this. Like, this is, I really look at everything now with awe, like with like a childlike curiosity. Like, I was out today running an errand, and I was just looking around at everything. And I was like, oh, you know, because like if I would have left 30 seconds before or 30 seconds after, I wouldn't have seen these certain things. And I just always play a game. I'm like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to see today. I wonder how I'm going to feel today, who I'm going to talk to today. Just like live life with curiosity and don't make a big deal out of everything. It's nothing is a big deal. Things can change in an instant. You can change in an instant. I mean, things can literally happen overnight. Things can happen, like I said, in an instant. I mean, I've had things change from, you know, no to yes in 5 minutes, you know, and things just show up out of nowhere. There's always abundance around us. We are abundance itself. We are love. We are joy. We just forget that we are those things because we're so, you know, in the world. We're just like, looking at the 3D as truth, and it's not. We are truth. So if you just look at, like, if you can remember the concept, like there's you and you're creating, you're the projector. So your life is like the screen and you are the projector, the movie projector, and you're putting that movie in. You get to decide what movie you want to be projected on the screen. I think that's a really good way to look at things. And if you believe that, great. If you don't believe that, you can start saying, hey, what if this could be true? I wonder what would happen if this were true. Let's practice. Let's try it out. And you can't just practice it for like, oh, I'm going to do this for a couple months, and do it for like a full, like, commit to a year and be like, just like I did with these videos. I had no idea what was going to come of this, but I knew something would, and man, it has. It's changing my whole life, and I've still got 4 months left of this and more after that, but it's like, it's just changed me so much. And so you just never know what could happen. And so when you commit to you, you might say, well, yeah, for a whole year, I'm going to try to practice this and see how I feel, see what happens. I'm going to do it with intention and with curiosity and with fun, just feel fun, create fun, and just look at everything as data. And then you're going to figure out what works for you, what resonates best with you, because not everybody's information out there will resonate with people. So I know my message may not resonate with certain people, but other people it will. And so I just give my take on things that I'm working on and things that help me and the way that I see things. And so, and as I'm doing these videos, my perception will change and the way that I speak about certain things may change. And so we're all just kind of in it together, walking next to each other, like learning, hopefully not so haphazardly anymore, like we've all done in the past. We can do it more with intention and direction. But yeah, so anyway, I'll let you go. I think that was all I wanted to cover. I'm sure when I get off of here, I'm going to be like, oh, I wish I would have said that. So I may save it for tomorrow if I think about it. But yeah, when it comes to other people, just remember they're showing you, and just use them as data. Be like, oh, that's cool. And just enjoy people too. Like, just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy the experience of people. And another thing about like noticing the negativity, like, oh, that person's negative. Like, again, like how you see that person is how like they can feel that you see them as negative. So that's why we want to look at the positive aspects of somebody, as Esther Hicks says, like they've got positive things about them, but we choose to notice that, oh, well, every time I say this, they're annoyed. So that's what we're focused on instead of, wow, this person is so kind, loving, and a great friend or whatever. So I really think that with that practice of shifting the focus, that's where we have the hardest time, I feel like, as people. It's just like we as humans, we focus in on the thing that maybe bothers us the most. It's like we focus in on the negative for some reason. It just gives us like probably a dopamine rush, I'm sure, of some reason it does that. But if we train ourselves to focus more on the positive aspects of them and ourselves, we're going to feel a lot better, and we're going to see a lot of different things show up than what we've always done. So remember, like, you can't, if you're doing something like the way you've always done it, you can't expect a different result. So we have to shift things and not just shift it for a day and be like, oh, this didn't work, or even a month. We've got to like remember that we're practicing being us every day. That's never going to stop. You're always going to practice being you every day, and you're going to level up every single day. So that's something I love to say is every day I'm getting better and better. Every day. That is a quote from, I can't remember who it was. Every day and in every way I'm getting better and better. I cannot remember who said that. It's somebody, I can't remember if it was Napoleon Hill or Jim Rohn or I can't remember. But every day in every way I'm getting better and better. And I really believe that, because every day I grow in some sense. I've done something or thought something or changed a thought or done something that changed me and shifted me. So keep that in mind too, that every day you're getting better and better in every way. So practice, just keep practicing. I'm here with you every day, as you know. So if this helped you in any way, please let me know, and please comment below. Please share it with somebody else who it might help if you'd like, and please like and subscribe if you'd like to. I'd love to have you here. Remember, you are so loved. Pass that on to anyone who you believe might need to hear that today. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.